Hey, welcome back to J.P.'s World of Wrestling. I am your man, J.P., and today, what am I talking about? Well, I figure since summer is officially here, and it's been here for a while, and since, you know, August is just around the corner, that means it's almost SummerSlam season. I was going to wait until August to do this, but why wait? Why not do it now? So today, we're talking about SummerSlam. That's right, that annual WWF pay per view that took place. Actually, I think it still takes place, but I have some fond memories of watching SummerSlam. But I'm going to take this time to show you something because when it comes to physical media, I always like physical media. I like having the Blu ray or the DVD of stuff just because I like to have physical media like in hand. So I'm going to show you this. This is my WWF SummerSlam DVD box set. I think I got this in mail order. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it was pretty reasonable, so I just did it. And yeah, I love this box set. I love the way it looks. It's supposed to resemble a cooler for like a summer picnic or whatever. And they've got all the box sets right here. And I believe this one right here, and possibly this one, those are the only two that I really care about because those are like the old school SummerSlams. Um, but I think my fondest memories of watching SummerSlam go back to like the early days of SummerSlam. And I believe the very first SummerSlam was actually, yeah, the first SummerSlam. I think the main event was a tag team match. It was Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, the Mega Powers, taking on Mega Bucks, the Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, and Andre the Giant. So that was a big one. And then the very next year, the main event was also a tag team match, but they were WWF was trying to promote the movie No Holds Barred, starring the immortal Hulk Hogan. So that was also a tag match. It was Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake taking on Macho Man Randy Savage and Zeus. Now, when Zeus first came onto the scene in the WWF, a lot of us were like, oh, nobody can beat Zeus. He's so tough. But honestly, if you look at it, the guy really didn't do any moves. The guy just did a lot of bear hugs and ah, ah. And he did a lot of that. And then he would like do that to Hulk Hogan's neck. He would like pound on Hulk Hogan's neck with both fists and again, ah, Zeus, ah. He really didn't do a lot of moves. The only thing is, oh, when you punch him, he didn't feel pain. He would just go, ah, some more. But eventually, once you wore him down, Hulk was able to defeat Zeus. Just like in the movie No Holds Barred, where Hulk, or Rip, would beat him. But, and then there was another SummerSlam where I believe Hulk Hogan wrestled Earthquake because of an altercation that Hulk and Earthquake had on the Brother Love show, where Earthquake somehow got Hogan down and then did his chest sit down splash move to Hogan. And then Hulk Hogan had to go in the hospital. He was out of commission for several months. But his best friend Tugboat, you know, did this campaign where he would tell people, oh, send your letters in. Send your letters in to Hulk. Let him know how you feel about him. Then eventually Hulk came back and got his revenge on Earthquake by defeating him at SummerSlam. I think it was a count-out victory. So, of course, Roddy Piper, being the heel commentator, said, oh, he didn't win anything. He needs to get Earthquake back in the ring. He needs to settle this once and for all. Count-out won't do. Whatever. So, but then during the later years, once you get into the Attitude Era, I remember 1998, I think I bought the SummerSlam that year because I just had disposable income. I was living with my parents, working full time, and they weren't charging me rent, so I just had disposable income. So I bought SummerSlam then with a couple buddies from church, and we watched SummerSlam '98, which I think the main event was Undertaker versus Stone Cold, which whatever at the time. At the time, I did watch WWF. I watched both WWF and WCW, but I was really more interested in what WCW was doing. But this is about SummerSlam. So yeah, over the years, you know, I didn't really watch SummerSlam on pay per view, but you all know that I didn't really watch the pay per views live. I usually had to wait until they came out on video, but I always liked SummerSlam. To me, SummerSlam was kind of like the summer version of WrestleMania. It wasn't quite as big, but it still was pretty big because they actually took their time to build up the storylines for the anticipation of these matches. Like, oh boy, we're finally going to see the payoff for these grudges and these feuds. But then once, I just recently talked about once 1995 hit, they started doing a pay per view every month. So they didn't really have time to build up the storyline. In fact, SummerSlam 1995, in my opinion, was probably the worst SummerSlam ever. Just because the main event was Diesel versus Mabel. That's not going to compel me to buy the pay per view. I have nothing against either of those guys per se, but I didn't really see them as big show main eventers. That's just me. I don't know. I thought that was kind of a boring main event. But during that match, though, Diesel was laying on her stomach in the ring, and Mabel sat down like really hard with all of his weight on Diesel's back, and you can actually hear Diesel getting mad at Mabel. You can't really make out what he's saying, but you can clearly hear his voice, like yelling at Mabel, because I think Mabel actually really hurt him in that match. But I don't know. Anyway, WWF SummerSlam. And that is going to do it for this video. If you're new here, go ahead and like and subscribe. And you can go ahead and share it if you want to. That helps me out too. And I will see you next time.